Today marks potentially one of the most momentous days in the history of Goffs Bloodstock Sales as the Paulyn Dispersal takes place here. 24 top quality horses owned by flamboyant Australian Paul Macon. Macon himself says he doesn't need the money, but at the end of proceedings he's guaranteed to be an awful lot richer. We're promised fireworks aplenty. Henry, this is obviously a massive day for everyone connected with Goffs Bloodstock Sales. Just how big a coup is it, in your opinion, to be chosen for the Paulyn Dispersal?
Well, it's a big deal. I mean, Goffs exists to sell the best thoroughbreds to a global audience, and these are the best thoroughbreds we can find on the market this year. So it's a huge coup. We're very privileged to have been appointed by Mr. Macon. We have a wonderful catalogue here today in addition to the Paulyn Dispersal. So we're honoured to be selling the horses. We're looking forward to it. It's exciting, and it means a huge amount to us.
Tell us about the quality of the lots on offer, Henry. CHICQUITA is the one, I suppose, that catches everyone's eye, but it's not just about her, is it?
Well, the phrase we've used again is it is very rare. It's very rare to get a collection of thoroughbreds of this quality in one place at one time. I mean, these are the absolute best. They're the end of a number of years of buying the best, breeding to the best, and ending up winning the best. So I'd expect to see some quite interesting bidding battles. I mean, it's a genuine dispersal, though. The horses are sold without reserve. Our minimum bid is 1,000, so if something makes 1,000, it gets sold. Paul Macon has brought them here to sell. He won't be bidding himself. There are no reserves, so we're going to sell to the highest bidder, whatever they make, from 1,000 up to whatever they go.
Right now, 3 million now. 3 million now, 3 million now. 3 million 6. Listen to me, don't look at the ball. 4 million bid. 4 million now. 4 million 5 and 10. 5 million left. 5 million 2 and 3. 5 million 5. 5 million 5 ago. 5 million 6. 5 million 7. 7 fantastic winner. 6 million bid. I would ask you not to make any noise until she leaves, please, ladies and gentlemen. Only for her. She sold for 6 million to Peter and Rostov, Bloodstock. Thank you very much.
Paul, the day started very well from an Australian sporting perspective with events in the first Ashes Test. Are you happy with how it ended here with your dispersal?
We've broken a record in Ireland. I love that. That's always very nice to do. It's lovely for the Irish people and for Goffs. Makes Tattersalls a bit more competitive, which will be quite nice. Keep the business going.
Is that a price roughly in line with what you expected, or had you any expectations?
About 5 mil she might make. I had been offered 4 mil for her before the sale. I had been offered a price for all of them, which was superior to what I sold them for, but I did a deal with Goffs, and I'm happy with the deal. I think towards the end, everybody recognised what had happened. That moment was good, wasn't it? And everybody recognised it, and it was a good occasion, wasn't it?
You said going into this you're in the fortunate position of not needing the money, but have you any plans for the windfall at all?
Not really. I mean, I can only get about 3.4% on it on a term deposit, but probably what I'll have to do with it. You know, because they're printing money. They call it quantitative easing, but I think it's very similar to printing money, and they just don't call it printing money. But so money's cheap, so you can't, if anybody's got any money, it isn't growing unless they can make some use of it.
Selling at high-priced horses is always exciting, but to an audience like that, and selling a filly of that quality was just a massive privilege for me and a great privilege for Goffs. I mean, I said earlier on that it was great to have the dispersal here. We'd sold a couple for over $1 million earlier on, but to sell CHICQUITA for €6 million was quite extraordinary. It's by quite some margin the highest price ever paid for a horse in Ireland. Beats a record that I think was set in 1984 by about 1.8 million. So naturally we're pleased, and yeah, a real buzz.
I can't imagine you've too many times in the past had to actually ask for a bit of a hush in the auditorium, maybe.
Well, no, not often, but it's very understandable. People are excited. It's a bit like the thrill of ownership and racehorse ownership and winning a race has been talked about a lot, and quite rightly so, because it's wonderful. But I think that all starts in the sales ring, and you get real excitement, and everyone wants to see who's bidding and who's going to bid next. It's a bit like a boxing match or a tennis match, people going backwards and forwards to see who's bidding, and they want to see. And I think the way both parties bid, the two serious parties bid, was, it was slightly different as well, because they were rounding up. To open at 3 million was amazing, and then to have people rounding up to 4 and 5 and 6 was, it was out of the ordinary. So it's something we'll remember for a long time.
Of course, that final bid on Chiquita went to familiar buyers, didn't it?
Yeah, Peter and Ross Doyle Bloodstock. I mean, they're a legendary team. I mean, Peter's father, the great Jack Doyle, was a legend himself. Was a superb agent, bought horses like Sanford Lad and Right Tag, classic winners and Group 1 winners. Peter Doyle has been buying for many, many years. His principal patron's been Richard Hannam, but he's been buying for Sheikh Johan as well, Altani. I don't know who he actually bought for today, and Ross Doyle's been coming through, and Ross was the underbidder on the top price yearling this year. So it's great to sell to them. They're from County Wicklow, and it was great to see them there. And they were working as a team. I think Ross was on the phone to whoever was buying the horse, and Peter was giving me the bid. So it was very, very exciting. But you know, it's always nice to see a friendly face.
Elaine, a really exciting day. I suppose days like this in many ways make the job easy, don't they?
It really does. Like when a sales company puts a catalogue of horses that we've just seen go through the ring, it does make our job easier. But it's great that it's appreciated by visitors from all over the world.
The pedigrees over here are very strong, and you know, grass racing in America, when you come over here you buy something, you usually get something pretty good at home, and some great families. Dispersal is good, so decided to come out.
It's one of the impeccably bred filly foals that you bought in Oasis Dream. What was it in particular that attracted you to her?
Oh, Oasis Dream, they've done really well in America, and I know she looked like a fast ground type of filly, so I liked the family, I liked her, the individual a lot, so I'll give it a shot.
In general, do you think the outlook is bright going forward from here?
It is. It's a positive vibe. We've had 4 years of growth. We've no doubt we'll have a 5th year of growth in 2013. Trade is good. We've got a couple of new players in the marketplace which make things very, very exciting. But more importantly, the clearance rate here has been very, very strong, and that makes sure that the breeders are able to reinvest into the business.
I know foreign business is obviously very important. Having someone here of Paul Macon's stature and those top quality horses is incredible, isn't it?
Oh, it's brilliant. We're very appreciative that he's chosen Ireland. You know, he had the choice of the world and he has chosen Ireland. And I think, you know, Ireland, the bloodstock industry has done us proud. The buyers have come here and they've invested hugely in the local economy. You know, from hotels to restaurants to bars. I said a lot of Kildare has done very, very well out of this week.